All right, so we got at least. It was alluded to in a couple events and some talks around town that you thought about the mayoral run. Got a lot of people nervous, some people excited. So what made you consider it? What was the fire to get you to be mayor of Rome, New York?
Lovely question, Bradley. Yeah, it's kind of like a comment every 4 years when the election comes around, election season. My name might be whispered out there, and probably for good reason. It's always been an interest of mine. A poli-sci major at American University back in the day. And since then, I've always had a little bit of an interest in getting involved. And, when's the right time? When do you think you know enough to be great at it? All tough questions to answer, but I feel like I've got a great business background now. I've had 20-plus years running Rome Country Club. I've been quite the friend of the program here at the Sentinel. The Rome Chamber of Commerce, dabbled in that and helped out with that. So I really feel like I've got a lot of different avenues of where I've kind of, refined my craft, and I feel like I could really bring a good...
Know enough to make a difference.
Yeah, and do a great job at it, you
Sure.
know? So, as I get kind of older and get wiser, hopefully, it's making more sense to get involved at that level.
Now, what fueled that though? Like, is it okay? I'm ready to be this person, or is it saying, oh, I think I can do this better, or I think because knowing is great, but the timing and everything. What kind of said I think I could. I think I can make a difference on this point, or I can do this better, or change that. What were the kind of? Are there any top points that were like, I think this is where a campaign would be successful?
I think it starts out with my love for the area and Rome. And it sounds a bit trite to say that, but it really is. This is home. This is home. This is where I grew up. This is where
You're not going anywhere.
I've chosen to put roots down. My children rock and roll here in Rome, all three of them.
Yeah.
And so I want to make a difference. I really do. I genuinely want to leave this place better than when I arrived, being born 43 years ago. And maybe that's a bit wishful thinking, but I want to go down swinging and give it a good go. I mean, it's not the city hall is on fire type concept. I think
that's important to point out.
It's been fine. It's been fine, but I think we deserve better than fine. And I don't mean to dump on anyone who's been in City Hall of late. In particular, I think everyone brings their own skill set, and it's certainly an admirable effort to even run for it and take the duty of the job. So I do appreciate that. I don't mean to undermine that at all. That's something that should be applauded. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think I'd be damn good at it, and I think I'd bring it to the next level. I really do. And that's why I would always consider giving it a go.
And, spoiler alert, you're not. I think that's an interesting point too, because I think it was tough for you to make that decision. You had some input from family, from myself. You had friends over at the house saying, "What the hell am I doing? Is this a good idea or not?"
Right.
What I think we've talked about how there's other avenues to grow the city, that you don't have to be necessarily in a political position to help make decisions, to be a part of decisions. But what were the final? What made you say, at least not right now?
All right. The hardest part's probably the family part and putting it all together with timing. Mm-hmm. And I did get to a point where I thought, well, maybe I should just concede that timing will never be right. So let's just do it.
It's like working out. I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
you just got to do it.
Right. And my funny excuse is not to do it, or should I just do this darn thing?
Right.
And, we've got three kiddos, 9, 6, and 2.
Oof.
So that makes it tough.
Oof.
But again, 4 years, 8 years down the road, does that really get any better, or does it get worse? And if I'm going to make a difference and make this place somewhere my children want to remain,
you're not going to half-ass it.
I better do it now, kind of.
But
that was the other thought, the other side of it. Okay, I got young children, but if I'm going to spend 8 years in City Hall to make this place better and to retain that talent and my children here, well, then I got to get going soon, because you can't wait till they're 18 and then decide to give it a go.
Right.
They're already looking at other pastures.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be great to have Jackie Izzoan and Jeff Lanigan. I think it's really good. One, as we'll say on this podcast, we really are after the in-depth conversation than what you see on a billboard or what you see in a story article. We hope to uncover a couple things. If some of the topics and going over some of the reasons why you wanted to maybe make a mayoral run, even though you're not, what do you think the low-hanging fruit is for the candidates, even for Jeff to say, I can do this better, or for Jackie to say, I already do that, or I can do that better too? What would be some of the topics I think we should dig into?
Yeah, I think, first of all, just someone of the next generation. So Jeff would represent that, a little bit of a younger vibe going on. And not to be ageist against Jackie or anyone else, but that is good to get people of the next generation involved. So I'm happy to see that. But there are a lot of issues to touch upon, and I'm sure they will certainly jump on them. I mean, crime is one to talk about. Yeah. That I don't know if it's a major issue at the moment, but I think it hasn't really been addressed very well by City Hall, and I think that's certainly fixable. But I think that's certainly one. I'm sure Jeff will love to talk about that,
sure.
being
formerly
in
know something about
in the police department.
Yep.
Yeah, I think activities and a field house, that's always a huge one. Indoor facility for youth soccer, whatever sport you're into. Again, they've been springing up all over the place around this area.
Yep.
All have been successful. And if Westmoreland can support it, I would hope Rome could.
Sure.
With a much bigger population. I think those are some big factors. Those would be kind of the top couple at the moment off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think what I'm curious about, Jeff, is Jackie really hasn't screwed anything up. Right. She hasn't, there isn't a major topic or a headline that I can come up with was like, man, she really hasn't done that. She really screwed up. She didn't follow through on that or whatever. So I think for Jeff, it's like when you're going up against a candidate that doesn't have any real fires to put out right now. What's the best angle? Is it youth, new thought? Is it his background in crime? But that's only a piece, right? It's gonna be. I'm really curious to see what the playbook is, and he might not show all of his cards.
Right. I want to see how much he.
But what's the play?
That's why it's another round. I guess. Hopefully we get to that.
We'll have a cocktail
level.
or two. Yeah.
Yeah, really see where he wants or where he got the idea. Is this something that was homegrown that he's been thinking about, or was he approached and thought, heck, let me give it a shot?
Sure, that's a great point.
I want to hear that.
Right.
I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but it gives me a better idea of where he's coming from.
Yeah. And I think from Jackie, I love to. I feel like whenever we catch up with her, it's during other meetings. We have
it's so quick.
It's
right?
so quick,
right.
and I think it would be great to kind of just break it down a little bit. And I think that's what I'm excited about if we can get Jackie on here.
Yeah. And my first question for her would be, all right, you've had 8 years. And I'm a bit of a term limit guy.
Yeah, that's right, you are.
So that's kind of a thing for me. I think if you should get done, we can get done in 8 years, then it's probably time for fresh ideas.
Sure.
There might be exceptions to the rule.
Sure.
Which I understand, and you don't want to penalize experience, and I get that side of the coin too. But to go for years 9 through 12, and then maybe more, who knows what her intentions are, why? Do you feel like, and there's always the classic, well, we're working on projects, we want to see them to the end, but I want something more than that.
Right.
I want to get to that next level.
Sure.
Why?
We have a lot of opportunity. I mean, population growing, a lot of major projects happening. How to keep the ball rolling. Yeah, I like that. Great. Well, hopefully, I mean, they're talking. Well, we have a date. We're almost settling on a date for Jeff. So we got him on the hook. And I hope Jackie gives us a shot too. We hope to be nice a little bit, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, again, like I said before, I think it's very admirable to even get in this venue. That's a tough coliseum in which to fight, running for mayor and being mayor, and it's often thankless.
Yeah,
but I think you got to be tough and get through it. But so we don't mean to jump on anyone involved. We're looking just for deeper answers because we live in the era of the sound bites and the headline. And we want to get to the next level and get to know him as a person, too. You don't really get to that.
That's a good point. I think we talk about this when we're selling recruitment. Everybody's being interviewed before you get a chance to be interviewed. And what I mean by that is they've already looked you up. They're trying to figure out if you have a social media page. They're trying to figure out what you've already done before even talking to you. And I think in this forum, we can kick it back a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying we're get shit piled,
Right.
but let's
Right.
have more of a bar conversation than a boardroom conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the overall goal.
Yeah, and I think getting people who are in that spotlight of politics,
Loosen up a little.
getting them to look more human and to feel more human.
Yeah,
would help everyone.
Everybody wants to connect, and
Right.
if they can connect, you're gonna be better off anyway.
Yes,
So,
agree.
well, hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good chat. See you next time.
All right.